there are 4 different types of Drakelings. That's one. That's the summer Drakeling. And we have the winter Drakeling. And the 4th type is the spring Drakeling, which is my favorite, really. Yeah, the spring Drakeling is my favorite. I'm gonna tell you why. Let me know in the comments if you have another favorite. So the spring Drakeling, we'll leave it to the end. The winter Drakeling here is on the winter biome, so it's in the snow biome. Each Drakeling has its own biome, so the winter Drakeling is in the snow biome. And once you wear it on your shoulder, it's a shoulder pet, so you pick it up, like I just did. And if you pick it up on your shoulders and go to your show buffs here, you'll see there is Draconic Knowledge and 10% damage, resistance, and plus 100 points in insulation. So insulation is technically insulation, cold, and heat resistance. So get 100 points added to that. And since we're not in its biome, we're not in the winter biome, we don't get a buff. There's a buff that I'm going to show you next. You also get the Draconic Knowledge. This is common with all spring Drakelings. The Draconic Knowledge, it says 183%. This is a percentage of the XP that we get during our activities, if we're harvesting, killing creatures, doing whatever activity we do. And the XP with time also increases this Draconic Knowledge. Gets stored here in these book icons on the bottom right. And once this reaches 10,000, you get a primitive Horde Ski. Once it reaches 20k, we get a Mastercraft Horde Ski, and once we reach 30k, which is the cap, we get an Ascendant Horde Key. I have a video on what type of loot you get out of Ascendant Horde Keys. You get a lot of tech items, so might as well watch that. Check out my channel and just put Ascendant Horde Keys loot, and you'll see what type of loot you get out of them. So this one is not showing the biome boost because we're not in its biome. And the cool thing about the winter Drakeling, it has its inventory is technically a fridge, so it keeps things cool. So let's take some meat from here. So you can carry it on your shoulder and put some raw meat into it, or prime meat, and it will preserve it much better than our own inventory or other Drakelings inventory. So this is the summer Drakeling. We're gonna split the meat in half, and if we put it into the summer Drakeling, you can see here it says 25 minutes or 26 minutes almost, and we're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna access the inventory of my winter Drakeling on my shoulder and put the meat in here, and they last 1 hour 2 minutes. So that's pretty good. I mean, really good time for perishables inside the winter Drakeling. So it keeps them from spoiling. It increases the spoiling time. So that's for the winter Drakeling. And now let's see the summer Drakeling. So this one is the summer Drakeling. Let's see what buffs we get out of it. So if we open the inventory, show buffs. Okay. Like this. So it does have Draconic Knowledge, same thing. That's the same for all the Drakelings. Just adds XP here, and you can transfer the XP. I'm going to show you how to do that. The Summer Drakeling gives us 10% movement speed. So for you and your dino, all these buffs are for you and your dino. 10% movement speed, minus 25% CC effect duration. So like the CC effect duration, like, you know, stuns or fire or any of these effects, like ice wave, wind breath, all these effects are reduced by 25%. It's not that great really, but it might have useful cases, I guess. But the 10% movement speed is really nice. I mean, if you just want to travel around and move around, just put it on your shoulder and you get 10% speed boost, and that's really nice. Also, what it does, the Summer Drakeling, if we go to its inventory, just a second, right here, it cooks the meat. So the meat that we added earlier, it's now cooked. So it cooks the meat inside of its inventory. So the Summer Drakeling cooks meat, the Winter Drakeling is like a refrigerator. So those two are really nice. And all Summer Drakelings have something in common, which is the fall damage. Enable slow fall. You just enable that. And when you fall off of something high, as you can see, it starts flapping its wings and you don't get fall damage. And that's really, really useful as well. Especially on disconnects, like if you disconnect, you know, during playtime, and you have a Drakeling on your shoulder with the parachute ability enabled, you just fall on the ground and you don't die, and that's good. The Autumn Drakeling is really useful as well. This one here, the buff that it gives us, show buffs, is 5% melee damage for you and your dino. So melee damage 5% more, and plus 15% harvesting. So when you're harvesting, like harvesting metal, harvesting meat, berries, whatever type of harvesting you do. I mean, we're always grinding, you know, for like resources on Ark, I guess. So, you know, whenever you're harvesting, you get 15% more. So that's huge. I mean, that's really huge. So whenever you go harvesting, just pick up your Autumn Drakeling and go out there. And you get 5% melee damage, that's also good. And you also get the XP while you're harvesting, which is also nice. And when it stacks up, like the Draconic Knowledge with the Tribe Tower, with the, you know, if you take like Broth of Enlightenment maybe, that, you know, that all stacks up. So it's really powerful. So that's the Autumn Drakeling. And the Spring Drakeling here is the last one, and I'm gonna show you like its breath attacks and how to transfer stuff to other dinos. So the Spring Drakeling is my favorite, and as you can see, we got native biome boost. So I'm in a green area. So the Spring Drakeling is like in green fields and green areas. So this is the native biome. It gives us 10% XP and 10% loot quality. Aspect of Spring, plus 1% or plus 15 health regen, and minus 10% stamina consumption. So the health regen on this is really huge. I mean, it heals you and your dino if your health falls down. That's really, really useful. Like when you're doing purple drops, when you're doing boss fights even, it will heal you very, very fast. And the native biome boost, even though it's 10% loot quality, but it really gives a lot of boost to the type of loot you get out of loot crates. And I've tested this like many times, and it does make a big difference. Approximately 15 minutes, okay. So this biome boost, since we're in the spring Drakeling biome, even if we get out of the biome, it will still give us the boost at the bottom right, right there, for 3 hours. So even if I go to the desert now, it will still give us the boost. And I'm just gonna ride this Miguana. As you can see, it gives it the buff as well. So them show buffs. It gives it the aspect of spring, plus 1%, plus 15 health regen, and minus 10 stamina. So any flyers that, like, you know, rely on stamina or need health regen will use the spring Drakeling, and it's very, very useful. So the second thing is that it has an attack. So each Drakeling, this is common for all Drakelings. So if we drag this button here, whenever you have a Drakeling on your shoulder, you'll have this button, attack button. So if we press 5, the first one is breath attack. So if I press left, it bites and does a breath attack. We press R, it changes to Gift of Spring, and it shows on the over the bottom items that I have on my menu here. So it says Gift of Spring. So I can give this Miguana, if I right click, I give it the Gift of Spring, and if I open its inventory, show buffs, it has the Gift of Spring for 1 minute. So it's limited time, but still good. Also, if I press R again, it will say stored experience 334, as you can see, and I can transfer the experience by right clicking into the dino, and it will gain the experience that it has, and it will say 0 on the bottom right for the XP. So this is for the spring Drakeling. And this is the almost all the information that you need for all the different types of Drakelings that we have. Spring, summer, winter, and autumn. And they're all really, really useful.